Welcome to Fall Summit, a story-based podcast about tales, trails, and epic fails. I'm Octavia.
And I'm Em.
Well, for those just joining, we're going to bring you 2 stories and our thoughts on the tales, ending with Trail Mix, where Em will bring you 3 songs, and then trail etiquette and other shit by me.
Love that.
Yeah, love that for us. How you doing?
How are you? I'm good. How are you?
I'm great.
How are you?
How are you? Good. Yeah.
Did you enjoy our movie last night that we went to see?
The 4-hour movie that I've already seen.
You were worried about your butt hurting by the end of it because of the seats, did it?
Yeah.
Yeah, mine too.
It was a 4-hour movie and it wasn't recliner seats. I'm sorry, but my butt is spoiled now with these recliner seats that most theaters have. I would say most theaters have like the new big theater, unless it's like an independent, then they don't. But they just redid this movie theater and they decided not to put in recliner seats versus they put in regular seats. So I mean, I guess the styrofoam, whatever thing is in there, is newer, so more squishier, but 4 hours with your butt in that seat, no thank you. Lord of the Rings, the Two Towers, yeah.
It was really good.
Yeah, no, it was great. I think that they could have made it shorter.
No.
There's some scenes where I'm like,
everything was necessary in that movie.
The battle scene's too long, always.
The woman who came out, and because we go to this independent theater, there's 2 of them in the area.
Yeah.
And they always like send somebody out before the movie to just like talk about where the exits are and the restrooms and introduce the movie a little bit. And it's cute. But she said that they had done a marathon of all the Lord of the Rings movies.
That's insane.
On the weekend. And her and her boyfriend, who apparently their first date was watching one of the Lord of the Rings movies, decided to do the full 12-hour marathon.
Yeah.
How?
I don't know. They must have taken breaks. Like, it brought food.
For sure. But did you see the person in front of us?
Yeah.
They had brought food.
They did?
Tupperware container.
No, I did not clock that.
It looked like shepherd's pie.
Really?
Yeah. Potatoes or something.
But I didn't smell it, and that would have bothered me. Huh.
And a whole Saratoga, like one of the big sparkling.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, to each, that means 4 hours. We had popcorn. I was not,
that popcorn was soggy.
Well, because it got soggy at the bottom because of the butter. That's what always happens when they use real butter versus like the fake butter glaze.
Yeah.
Like the oil butter glaze.
I do like the oil butter glaze.
I mean, who doesn't like the oil butter glaze? Like anything, give me that fake shit.
Yeah. I thought it was worth it.
Yeah, no, I had a lot of fun. In other news, I went through a time this weekend. I was on the thruway, and a truck in front of me dropped pallets, like the wooden pallets, on the road. And I ran it over, going 60 miles an hour.
Oh, I didn't realize that's what happened.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought you just got a flat. I didn't know that someone caused it.
Yeah.
Oh.
I hit the pallet going 60 miles an hour. And
you saw it drop.
I didn't see it drop, but it must have dropped like right before I got there on a turn. So I couldn't see it. And it was like on a blind turn.
Did you go, like, did you spin out of control?
No, not at all. Okay. I'm a good driver. No, not at all. And also it didn't lose tire pressure right away. And with all these fancy new cars or whatever, mine's not that new, but it's new enough that it has like the tire sensors. And so I immediately looked at the tire sensor, and it had, and I pulled over, and it said that the one tire that hit it was 24, the rest were 35. So I was like, okay,
well,
it's losing air for sure. Once I pulled over, then I got out of the car and I looked at it. It didn't look terrible. It didn't look like there was a hole. I couldn't see like a hole or anything. It was like wasn't.
Didn't hear a leak.
I didn't hear a leak. I didn't really notice anything. So I called AAA, and the road that I was on apparently doesn't have a contract with AAA or something. And so they said they would not come, and then I had to call the state trooper and have them come, but then I would have to pay them to change the tire, like pay like the whatever state trooper has a contract with whatever garage. and then AAA would reimburse me. So I was not about that noise. That's just too many steps. I can't handle it. I just want to get back on the road. It's going to take an hour for them to get there anyway. I just changed the tire myself. Thank you, Dad, for teaching me how to change my own tire. Um, and it wasn't that hard. It was fine. I don't know why I didn't just think of that in the first place. I guess I was being lazy. I was like, I don't feel like changing my own tire.
It's also dangerous on the side of a highway.
Well, it was on the right hand side of the car and I was pulled over, so I was like barricaded
Yeah, but still, if
in.
like somebody hit the car.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It could be, yeah, potentially. Yeah, that's true. I did hear a story once about a car that had pulled over to the side of the road. This was decades ago. And they pulled over, I don't know why, and a tractor trailer hit them from behind and killed everybody. Yeah.
Fun.
So it can happen.
Yeah.
My mom was always terrified to pull over on the side of the road because of that story. But that did not happen. I'm alive. Did not get hit by a tractor trailer. So woohoo.
So you were supposed to go into the city.
I was supposed to go down to the city, but so we had to reschedule. And then so I had my daughter with me and I had Adriana with me. And so I was like, all right, well, let's do something else. Okay, because we're not gonna make it down to the city. We had a time, we were on like a time frame to get back up, and it just took so much time that I was like, it didn't make sense. So she wanted to go see this movie that she had heard about, and so we went and saw it. If she likes scary movies, it's fine. This is a scary movie about a toy monkey that kills people, so I figured it would be, scary, but it wouldn't be like too inappropriate. I did not. I did see the trailer, like a part of the trailer, and it didn't look terrible. It was really bad. Like, are you gonna look up the tomatoes?
It's called The Monkey. So Rotten Tomatoes, it's not as bad. It's not like the worst I've ever seen. It's 79%.
So,
Audience rating, however, is 2.4.
wow. So nobody liked it. Wait, isn't Rotten Tomatoes supposed to be like audience, or is that like reviewers? I thought it was like predictable. It
It's
was.
Stephen King.
It is?
Mhm.
They didn't do a good job portraying it. Unless I didn't read the book. So maybe in the book,
It's a neon movie. Usually they're pretty good.
uh,
Sure, it wasn't that good.
it wasn't good. As soon
You
as
just didn't like it because of Adriana's reaction.
no, the first scene in the movie, you know what's going on. Like I want a little bit of suspense.
The
Like
monkey is the worst thing a horror movie can be. Kind of boring.
no, it's like the first scene. He's there's this guy covered in blood trying to pawn the monkey at a pawn shop, and then the monkey kills the pawn dealer. And so it's like, but like the monkey killed the pawn dealer, and then there was just like gore. So it was basically like I felt like they were just relying on the gore factor. I don't know, the character, like I didn't like the storyline. And I'm a Stephen King. I love Stephen King. The Stand was one of my favorite books, favorite movies growing up.
Stand By Me, like, I'll just never get over that. That's one of the best movies ever made. And it's a Stephen King.
Oh yeah. I mean, I love Stephen King movies.
Yeah.
They're usually really, really good. I mean, books that are adapted into movies, but this was not. Whoever took control of the reins on this one, I think they just kind of cheated it a bit. I don't know. Sorry, dude. I think it was a miss. It was a miss for me. We left in the middle of the movie.
Oh wow. This is okay. So Oz Perkins, what has he been in that I know him from? He was something super awkward. Oh, Legally Blonde. There we go. He was in Legally Blonde.
Mm.
He also directed Long Legs, apparently.
Oh, I mean, I liked Long Legs, but I thought that it was also the hype was more than the movie. Although I did like the movie. Anyway, we left halfway through. For her, it was just too much gore. For me, it was just the storyline wasn't that intriguing. I wasn't like captivated. Um, it followed these two twin boys that they were kind of assholes to each other, and right off the bat, they knew it was the monkey killing people. But I don't know how they didn't explain how they like figured it out.
Hmm.
Like there wasn't enough suspense. Like what's happening? Like I don't know why this is, and then they killed the mom in like the first 20 minutes.
That's fun.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they were trying to be a Disney knockoff.
Oh yeah.
That's the best way to captivate the audience.
I'm not giving away too much because I only saw half of it. But the babysitter's head gets chopped off at a hibachi restaurant.
That's cool.
And like the head just
I've
falls.
always wanted that.
Yeah, the head falls off and onto the like skillet, the grill.
You hear that?
Yeah.
Really?
It's so weird. It just wasn't, I just didn't like it. Like, The Shining, amazing. The Stand, the original Stand. I didn't watch the show because the original Stand was just so good. Amazing. What was that other one?
Carrie.
Carrie was really good.
Rosemary. No, that's not.
Now there was another one about like a body snatchers, something.
The Mist.
Oh yeah, yes. There's just so many to choose from. This is not the one.
Misery.
Yeah. So if you go see it, just know, don't eat anything before you go.
Misery is wild. Wasn't that Kathy Bates? Wasn't she in there?
I don't remember. And don't get me wrong, like I don't mind some gore in my horror movies. I just felt like they relied too much on it and there wasn't enough storyline. Anyway, so that was a blast. And so the day was just like one thing after another.
That's fun.
Yeah. But
keep
then keep me on my toes. But then we went to Barnes and Nobles, because I was like, we need to do something to get the taste of this movie out of our mouths. This is so gross. And I got a puzzle, and she got a book,
and you got me a book,
and I got you a book about drag queen murders.
Yep. It's a cozy murder mystery about drag queens.
It's just so up our alley.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, for you to read it to me.
Yeah. And also, because what did you get it for?
Your birthday.
It was my birthday.
And we couldn't even spend your birthday together because you had to work all day.
Yes, but I did get 3 renditions of Happy Birthday Sing to Me.
That's true.
It was worth it.
It's worth it.
And yes, I turned into a tomato.
Yeah.
Each time. Progressively more so, I would say. But I still enjoyed it.
Yeah. I'm glad.
I like a good little embarrassment once in a while.
Do you?
Yeah, I like getting embarrassed. It's a kink.
You're weird.
Embarrass me.
How red can my cheeks get?
Really.
Yeah.
I can feel like, do you experience this?
No, I don't get embarrassed like you do.
It's like you can feel them like getting, I already have like pretty large cheeks.
Yeah, you're like a chipmunk.
Well, yeah. Sounded weird.
Chipmunk cheeks.
But I can feel them getting like even like more pronounced. And they get like, my whole face gets hot. And I'm like, okay, this is happening right now. And then also for my birthday, I got the linguini incident, which I'm very we started.
Yeah. And I thought it was really good.
Yeah, it's like a quirky 90s film.
But it's a David Bowie 90s film.
Right. And it's one I've never heard of or seen.
No, I have not seen that one.
Rosanna Arquette is in it.
Oh, yeah, I like her a lot.
Which I was excited about because she's also in Pulp Fiction.
Oh, and that other actress that is, there's another actress that's an SVU girly.
Yeah.
I can't remember her name.
Me neither.
Anyway, doesn't matter.
But it was really, it's a little weird.
Oh, well, yeah. Have you seen The Labyrinth?
That's weird. Oh, yeah.
I think he's like, what weird movies can I do?
That would be me. Like, that's why I love David Bowie so much, because does weird for the sake of doing weird.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Because I'm a weirdo, I'm going to be doing weird things. Like, that's great. Like, you're not trying to conform, you're not trying to, like, fit into the mold. Like, no, I'm a weirdo. This is my work. It's weird.
Yeah.
Great.
I'm weird, you're weird, we're all weird, and, it's fine. Queer weird. Queer weird.
Good one.
Thank you. We have more birthday celebrations for you coming up, so.
Very excited.
Me too. Tuned. And how old are you now?
Oh, I'm 30.
Oh my God, you're so old. You're like in the crypt, basically. Crypt keeper.
Yeah.
You're gonna turn into dust soon.
That's how it feels.
Your bones are gonna start creaking.
Please let me turn to dust.
No, 30s are the best. So you're in for a ride.
I got different opinions from other people, but
Guess what do you make of it?
I guess
Put it in your head that it's going to be the best, and it will be.
sure.
Yeah,
That works for me most of the time. Just fake it till you make it.
but I'm also glass half full, and you're like glass has
I'm a realist.
some fluid in it sometimes.
Yeah, but most of the time, no, because I'm dehydrated all the time. All right. Do you want to get into the stories for
Yeah, I'd love that. We have a couple of good ones. I picked the first one because what's going on in the world right now in the national parks situation where they laid off so many park rangers and they're defunding it like crazy. So and that includes all the departments, wildfire prevention, landslides, like fixing up the trails, there's so many areas that these people were maintaining our national parks. And now for 5,000 employees that aren't going to be doing their jobs and have lost their livelihood. It's going to impact.
Well, it's impacting a lot of people because their goal is to reduce the spending by like $2 trillion.
Yeah, which is insane.
Like 2 trillion.
Yeah,
not billion. Trillion.
Yeah, I mean, and they're saying like we're trying to do this so that we can lower your taxes. And I was watching, I think it was a TikTok or no, it was an Instagram, and one of the people that we follow was like, they're trying to cut down on taxes by defunding the national parks. Your taxes are going to go up by like $1.83. And I'm like, I don't need that $1.83 if it means that we're going to have that 5,000 people are going to have a livelihood. So I don't know. I saw the first story is called Wildfire Escape, and I just thought it was fitting for right now in what we're experiencing. I really hope that somebody can do something about this. It's just really bad.
All right, so first one, as Tave said, is called Wildfire Escape. We started in the morning, the scent of pine lingering in the air as we broke down camp. It was our last day in the national forest, and we wanted to squeeze in one final hike before heading home. My husband, my sister, my brother-in-law, and I packed the cars, made sure the fire pit was cold, and hit the trail. A scenic loop we estimated would take a few hours. The first half was peaceful. Birds chattered in the canopy, a distant creek murmured, and our boots crunched over packed dirt and scattered pine needles. We talked, laughed, and soaked in the last stretch of wilderness before returning to the real world. But just as we reached what we guessed was the halfway point, something shifted. The sunlight took on an eerie orange glow. At first, I thought maybe the clouds had thickened, playing tricks with the morning light. Then the smell hit, faint but unmistakable. Smoke. Not the friendly kind from a campfire, but the sharp, acrid scent of burning forests.
That's so scary.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine being on a hike and then thinking maybe it's like we don't live in an area that has a lot of forest fires, but I wouldn't even think forest fire to begin with. I'd be like, oh, there must be a house nearby or like somebody's having a campfire. I would not think.
Well, that happened to us recently, right? Didn't it? Where you had gone to work, and then I was noticing a smell of smoke in the house. So I went outside, and there was like it was like hazy outside. And I think it turned out to be a plot of land that was burning not that far away from us, like 30 minutes from us.
I don't remember that. I'm glad you do.
A quiet dread settled over our group as we scanned the sky. Ash. Small, weightless flakes drifted down like sinister snow. The realization hit hard, primal fear creeping in. Wildfire, my husband muttered. We didn't wait to discuss it. Instinct took over. Our easygoing hike turned into a forced march, then a near jog as we picked up the pace, pushing hard to get back to camp. The deeper we went, the darker it got, not from clouds or dust, but from the thickening smoke curling through the trees. Every few minutes, we stopped to listen. No roaring flames, no crackling inferno, but that didn't mean we were safe. We had no idea where the fire was or which direction it was moving. The uncertainty gnawed at us. making every step feel both urgent and futile. And futile. The uncertainty gnawed at us, making every step feel both urgent and futile. The air thickened, dry heat pushing against us as we moved. Our lungs burned, our eyes watered. The carefree chatter from earlier had long since disappeared, replaced by heavy breathing and the rhythmic pounding of our boots. My sister stumbled over a tree root, but caught herself before falling. No one spoke. We just pressed forward, focused on getting out. Finally, we reached camp. No time to think, no time to rest. We scrambled into the car, throwing open windows to suck in what little fresh air remained. The engine roared to life, and we peeled out of there, dust kicking up behind us. The drive felt endless, each twist and turn in the road stretching time as we navigated out of the smoke-drenched forest. As we neared the highway, we saw them. Rangers, stone-faced and efficient, closing the roads behind us. A late exit, but an exit nonetheless. The weight of what had just happened didn't settle in until we were well past the danger zone. Maybe we were never truly at risk. Maybe the fire never would have reached us. But that feeling, that creeping primal fear of being miles away from safety with a wildfire creeping closer, was enough. I'll be just fine if I never experience that again. Damn, that's like, picture how forest animals feel. Like, they must have that, like, same primal
Oh,
fear.
100%, yeah.
And, like, they don't have anywhere else to go.
Well, because we've made walls and taken over all their habitats.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
also, like, they just have that's their home.
Yeah,
Like, these people are leaving because this isn't their home. They're going to their home.
that's true.
But where would the animal leave to?
Oh, just run away and make a new home. But it's still
But that's instinct.
yeah, instinct for them. No, that's terrifying. I don't know if my heart would be pounding. I think your anxiety would be, like, through the roof.
Yeah, I mean, if my anxiety is through the roof when
Walking from the kitchen to the living room, yeah.
then just picture oof.
No, I don't even know what you would do. I mean, they did the right thing. It doesn't seem like they packed up any of their gear. They just got in the car and, like, skedaddled. 'Cause they said they were camping.
Yeah, but they said they like were booking it back to their camp, so it made it seem like to me they made it there and just quickly gathered everything.
In those situations, though, I think the proper thing to do is to just leave, not waste any time packing anything up, right?
Yeah, but that's like a tough one because like if it's on your way and like you're literally passing.
No, I mean, they had to go back to camp to get the car. But if, like, their tents are still set up, like,
Oh,
you know,
yeah,
I mean, maybe, if there's a bag you can grab, but I don't think you can take the time to, like, you know, put the tent away. Just you
yeah,
lose the tent, you're fine. Just grab your, pack.
yeah. Especially if like there's other signs like you hear crackling, you hear like it's really
Yeah.
close. Like I think you just have to judge it.
I would say hopefully they had already packed up camp and were planning on leaving at the end of their hike anyway. And maybe all they had to do is get in the car and go. They didn't give that information. I didn't think to ask.
But it's a good story.
Oh, yeah, no,
I felt the anxiety.
I felt the anxiety. I thought it really, like, and then here's the Rangers cordoning off the road, doing their job, getting ready for the big helicopter things to fly in and, like, put the water on. They have, like, the helicopters that have, like, the big
Yeah, water tank.
water tanks.
Mhm.
Um, there's forest fire firefighters. Literally, like, that's, like, their main job is being trained in how to put them out.
Yeah. Um, but I really like that story. Would you like to do the honors of reading story number 2?
I would. I think we like all the stories that we pick. Why
Yeah,
would we pick out a story we didn't like? We should do that one day and be like, "This
or
was
just like
really bad."
a random one. Like,
Pick out a story and be like, "We picked this out. It's really bad. Here you go."
or we didn't read it over. Let's do one that like we find on the internet and like no context. Just, like,
Yeah.
copy and paste the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then read it on air,
And not edit it.
not edit. And let's see what happens.
Yeah. No, let's not do that. I hate that idea. This gives me anxiety.
Story number 2 is called Phone v Beacon.
Phone v Beacon.
What does that mean?
Phone versus beacon. What is better to bring on a hike?
Phone versus beacon.
Yes.
Oh, so phone vs beacon.
Yes. Phone v beacon.
That's phone 5 beacon.
Well, you could also look at it like that if you want.
Or their middle name is Veronica.
It could be.
Phone v beacon.
Yeah.
Phone Veronica Beacon. Nice. Let's go. Get into it.
You're an insane person.
Insane.
All right.
In the man brain.
Phone versus beacon.
E.T. Phone home.
Okay. The day had started crisp and clear, the kind of winter morning that felt more like an invitation than a warning. The plan was simple, a solo off-track hike. Nothing too ambitious, just a day of exploring and tracking down geocaches with my phone as my guide. It was cold, sure, but I had what I needed for the day. That was all I thought I'd need. What I didn't realize was that I was carrying something far more dangerous than a lack of supplies: overconfidence. It was denser than I expected, an unforgiving tangle of post-fire regrowth, thick enough to make every step a battle. Each movement required effort, branches clawing at my jacket, snapping underfoot. I was focused on navigating, eyes glued to my phone screen, bouncing between GPS coordinates. It felt like a game, a challenge I was determined to win, until the moment I reached into my pocket and found it empty. The phone was gone. Yikes. Yeah, no, I would not like that. Especially because I think he is bushwhacking.
Mm-hmm. That's how it sounds.
Yeah, so like there's no trail.
Right.
Yeah. Panic hit fast and sharp. Cutting through the cold, I couldn't have lost it more than 20 meters back. But in this tangled mess, retracing my steps felt like trying to unspill water. I turned, scanned the ground, pushing through the undergrowth. No luck. I searched longer than I should have, driven by a stubborn hope that I'd spot it wedged between some branches or half buried under leaves. But the more I searched, the more I churned up the landscape, erasing any semblance of a trail I might have followed back. Finally, I had to make a choice: abandon the phone and find my way out, or risk wandering deeper in an increasingly desperate attempt to recover it. I chose escape, except escape wasn't as simple as I thought. The sun inched lower and the landscape warped into an unfamiliar maze. What had been a simple route on a screen now felt endless, every direction a repeat of the last. I tried to navigate by instinct, by terrain, or anything, but the more I moved, the less certain I became of anything except that I was lost. That's when the real fear settled in. The creeping, suffocating kind that seeps into your bones. How do you think you'd be feeling in this moment?
Chipper and ready to get on with things.
My God. You would be not chipper.
No, I would be literally running around in a circle.
Yeah. No. Yeah, for sure. You'd be like, you'd be in a ball on the ground,
sucking on my thumb,
hugging your knees to your chest. Yeah.
Sucking my thumb, rocking back and forth.
Yeah.
That's cool. With my weighted blanket.
Yeah. You would have
I
to
bring
use
it everywhere.
You do not bring it everywhere. Yeah, you would be freaking out though.
Can you imagine though, like if I went on a long distance hike and everyone was, and I'm like, oh my God, my pack's so heavy. And everyone's like, what did you even pack? And like they held it up and they're like, oh my God, it's so heavy. And like I dump out the contents and it's
just
like
one bag.
No, it's like, yeah, it's one like a backpack.
Yeah.
And there's a weighted blanket in there, some Xanax,
Oh my God.
Like, coloring books, some
this
like
is my anxiety survival kit.
Yeah, like nothing else though. Like that's it.
Yeah, no, those things are heavy too. They can come in like 50, 80, right? Pounds?
It's like 50 pounds. No,
yeah.
That's not true. That's not right.
I think it is.
50 pounds, that's a lot. I don't think that's right.
I don't know. Look it up. I think they come in all sorts of weights though.
Between 5 and 30 pounds.
Oh, okay. So I'm wrong. It's 5 and 30 pounds. They don't have 50
most
pounds?
adults up for blankets that are around 10% of their body weight.
I wonder how heavy the one you have is.
I'd say 20,
Okay. Sounds good to me.
30,
Yeah.
40,
Yeah.
80.
So for me, the fear would be settling in. I would be trying to figure out what do I do? And also every scenario that could go wrong would be going through my head because that happens anyway. I drive down the road and I think of all the things that could go wrong. It's horrible.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Sounds lovely.
So good. All right. I wasn't just off track. I wasn't just missing my phone. I was alone in winter with the temperature dropping fast and no resources beyond what I'd carried for a simple day hike. I could already feel the cold working its way into my fingers and my toes. And then I remembered something, a promise I had made. One of my work friends had heard my stories, had shaken their head at my lack of preparation, and made me swear I wouldn't go out again without an emergency beacon. It had seemed unnecessary at the time, almost overkill. Now, standing in the middle of endless frozen scrubland, it was my only way out. I climbed onto the flattest rock I could find, took the beacon from my pack, and pressed the button. For a long time, nothing happened. I stared at the sky, half expecting an immediate rescue, but of course, that wasn't how it worked. Minutes stretched into an hour. The sun slid closer to the horizon. My breath curled in front of me in thick clouds. I focused on staying as still as possible, conserving warmth, resisting the urge to move just for the sake of movement. And then, at last, the distant thrum of rotor blades, a helicopter. Relief hit me so hard I almost laughed. They circled, found me, hovered. A rescuer was winched down, fighting against the wind and the unstable ground. The moment he landed, he assessed me, clipped me into the harness, and signaled for the lift. Then the helicopter left us. I stared after it, barely processing what had happened. The rescuer sighed, shifting his weight in the frozen bog we stood in. Too heavy, he said. Needs clearance and to burn fuel before it can winch us up. So we waited, ankle deep in icy water, night creeping in around us, listening for the sound of our escape returning. When it finally did, when I was finally lifted from the frozen ground into safety of the helicopter, I felt something I hadn't expected. Humility. I thought I knew what I was doing. I had assumed I had control. Nature had proven otherwise. But also, I think technology.
Yeah.
You were relying heavily on technology and then lost your technology. Good thing he had the beacon.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah. Lesson learned.
Lesson learned.
And this time, one I wouldn't forget.
Oh, sorry, that was part of the story.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Apologies.
Yeah. But that is the end of that story. Yeah, lesson learned, dude. Like, that's crazy. I'm glad that he listened to his work friend and brought the beacon, though.
Yeah, what would he have done had he not had that?
Kept walking around trying to find his way out.
Oh god.
And
Maybe.
possibly not. We
Yeah.
wouldn't have this story at all. Instead, there would be a news alert.
Oh, it's sad.
Hiker lost in the woods, found frozen in a bog.
That's crazy.
Yeah. No, thank you. That's scary. No, thank you. But he did have the beacon and was able to use it. I'm wondering why it was too heavy, though.
What was too heavy?
The people were too heavy and there wasn't enough clearance. I don't know enough about helicopters.
Yeah, I don't either.
To understand, like, you have a person who maybe it was just like a big dude. Could be.
Yeah, it's weird.
Like, you're rescuing a person, wouldn't you, like, situate yourself for that?
Well, maybe that was, like, the thing all along was that it was never going like, they always knew it was gonna be too heavy, like, that's a normal thing, like, maybe they had to burn off the fuel like the guy said, but the whole point was to drop the guy down to
help
have, like,
assess the
reassured
situation,
and
yeah.
reassured.
And if there's that, because you don't know, with those kind of beacons, you don't know if the person's injured.
Right, so they
So
would probably make sure that
yeah,
injuries.
yeah. Otherwise, they would need, like, one of those body things. You know what I mean?
Mm-mm.
Um, So like if somebody's injured and you have to
I
helicopter them
see.
out,
Yeah.
they go on like a stretcher.
Yeah.
And so then they would have had to do something like that if the guy was injured. So, but he wasn't.
I was just picturing they'd like put like a handcuff or a foot cuff, ankle cuff
Oh yeah.
around his ankle.
Yeah.
And tie the other one to the other guy, and then they'd both be hoisted up by their ankles
Oh
into
right.
the helicopter.
Yeah.
I thought that's how
That's
that
how
worked.
it works. Yeah. Usually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the other guy like comes in and like grabs just the like single handcuff, the middle part,
Yeah, yeah.
and yanks them both in at once.
Oh,
with
right,
one
like a
hand.
movie, like a cartoon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all. I got.
I mean, that's all green screen for you right there.
Yeah,
If
I
we
think
could
I
green
make a
screen
really good
rescue.
movie.
Yeah,
That's all I've got so far.
that's it. What's your movie called?
Not Cocaine Bear, but something
Ankle Danglers?
that doesn't sound great. Sounds too much like Dingleberry.
So good.
No.
So good.
Ooh, yeah, but like hanging on for dear ankles.
What? No, we're gonna workshop that a little bit
We're
more.
gonna keep going.
Yeah.
All right, we'll get back to you on that.
We'll get back to you on that one.
Alrighty then.
But I think it's time for
Trail
mix.
What? You just do the
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it too much effort to do that?
Yeah, it's like everything. You start out with a long word and then people shorten it and sup,
Not much. How about you?
Exactly.
All right. So for this trail mix, I was going for songs that don't just sit in the background, they shape the moment. So that's what I've been doing a lot lately, is just trying to pair the songs to moments that you could potentially have during an outdoor hike. For the first track,
Yeah.
on the list, on the mix, in the mix,
Yep.
whatever you want to. We've got Chateau by Angus and Julia Stone. This song is like walking through a dream. There's something hazy and cinematic about it, the kind of track that makes even the simplest moments feel like it belongs in a movie. Airy vocals, drifting guitars. Play this one when the trail gets quiet, when the stars start showing up, when the night still holds possibilities. Number 2 on the mix is When the Night is Over by Lord Huron. I know we've done some Lord Huron before, but this is probably my favorite of the Lord Huron songs.
Okay.
Ever. It is so good. I used to play this all the time. Like I had, I don't know, maybe like 25 to 50 songs on a playlist. It was like a night driving playlist. And this is the one I would always go back to time and time again, even though I had all the other songs to listen to. But I just wanted to listen to this one. Okay. So Lord Huron knows how to bottle up nostalgia and release it in waves. This track is full of longing, like the feeling of staring at the horizon and knowing you can't stay forever. It's a song for those dusky hours when the adventure is winding down, but you're not quite ready to let go. Imagine sitting on a cliffside, the last light slipping away, that ache of something unfinished settling in, but in the best way. Last but not least is Cold Little Heart by Michael Kiwanuka. This song doesn't just start, it unfolds. The slow build, the sweeping instrumentation, it's like the rising sun after a long, soul-searching night. It's got weight to it, the kind of song that forces you to sit with your thoughts for a little longer. It's perfect for those stretches of trail where everything feels bigger than you, where the journey feels less about distance and more about understanding something deeper. That's all I've got.
Thanks, Em.
You're welcome.
I love that for us. Add it to the mix, everybody.
Add it to the mix.
Yeah. All right. You ready for trail etiquette and other shit?
Certainly.
We're going to talk about first aid kits.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
We have one at work.
All right. So first aid kits. Make your own first aid kit. One of the most important items among the 10 essentials is a first aid kit. So we've talked about the 10 essentials before, the 10 essential gear that you need to bring with you when you're going on a trip, mostly overnight trips, but also day trips. There, be prepared. Don't get caught out there without your phone.
We've had a lot of phone mishap stories, I feel like.
Oh my God, I know. The one where they dropped it into the
porta potty.
Oh my God, it's so funny. All right, essentials. Not meant to carry everything you could possibly need. It should carry items that will address common hiker maladies and items that apply to your personal health situation. While you can purchase ready-made first aid kits at stores, we recommend tweaking it to suit your needs or even assembling your own. This will ensure that you are familiar with its contents and have some understanding of how to use what's in it. This list below offers a suggestion of some basic items that should be in personal first aid kits. We encourage you to seek further information with a medical professional or enroll in a wilderness first aid course. All right, a basic first aid kit should include any prescription medication in a labeled bag, several sealed single-use packs of ibuprofen, Imodium for upset stomachs, and an antihistamine for treating allergy reactions. Even if you don't have allergies, antihistamines are good for like if you get poison ivy or run into like something that is can cause an allergic reaction. All right. Moleskin and athletic tape, various adhesive bandages of varying sizes, a small roll of sterile gauze, a CPR mask, several pairs of latex or nitrile gloves, alcohol-based sterilizing gel, a pair of tweezers, just in case you get a splinter, a small knife or scissors, antiseptic ointment, hydrocortisone cream for insect bites and poisonous plants, liquid bandages. I've used liquid bandages. They sting like a motherfucker.
I've heard that, yeah.
They hurt so bad. I hate it. I hate it because it's you're pouring a chemical into a wound.
I just thought of why.
Yep.
Never mind.
It's really, it hurts so bad. Anyway.
I'm so not over this. Okay.
Yeah. Safety pins, electrolyte replacement powder. So, that's all I have for our self-made first aid kit. You could put anything else in there that you think that you might need for your, your own personal uses.
Tweezers on there?
Yeah, tweezers are on there for like splinters and shit.
And ticks.
Oh, and ticks. Yeah, ticks. Ugh. But these are just like the basics, what you should have. And obviously you don't want to get like the big versions of these things. You want to have like the small compact ones so it doesn't take up too much room, doesn't take up too much weight. I have seen some good kits, but I think if you buy a first aid kit, like a ready-made one, you should empty it all out, check the contents.
And make sure you know what's in there.
Make sure you know what's in there.
How to use the thing.
Yeah, and if you need to like make adjustments, you can take stuff out. You can put stuff in. If it doesn't come with tweezers, take out, but it comes with like a bunch of gauze pads, and you're like, they only recommend having like half of the amount that they put in there. Then you can replace with the things that you actually need. But anyway, it's always good to be safe than sorry. And I hope you guys found that first aid kit knowledge useful.
I did.
Thank you. You're welcome. Yeah.
I'll use it next time I go.
Yeah.
I love carrying a good, like, safety something or other. Like
a safety
bag,
something.
Like a bag or like a kit or like.
Oh yeah, you do love, you do, even if you're going out for a half an hour walk. Yeah. You're like, I need around the pond.
Mailbox.
Yeah. Tell it to the mailbox. Yeah. That's not it doesn't take you half an hour to get to the mailbox.
It sometimes does.
Ooh, shiny.
Yeah. Ooh, look, an acorn. Gotta pick it up. Must need that.
Yeah. Anyway, final thoughts?
I love the stories. I thought that the theme was great. Of like rescue and like anxiety producing natural events that are happening, like a forest fire while you're walking through exploring nature.
Yeah.
That's terrifying. And I thought that it conveyed it really well. And I felt the horror for them. And it was good.
I mean, the search and rescue had to come out and save the other guy in the second story. And with the defunding of the national parks rangers and everything else, it's going to affect those people that are saving people. So, it's really bad. And we all need to figure out something that we can do to protest against this bullshit.
Yeah, all of it, not just that, but yes, that.
But yeah, all of it. I mean, we also did we talk about I know I posted something on Instagram last week about the Stonewall Monument. Did we talk about that on the pod? Well, the post that I posted something on the pod about it. It's they took away a couple letters from it. They're talking about how they want to maybe take it down completely. Like it's just all bullshit.
Yeah, trans people no longer exist. Yes, they did just remove a couple letters from it. Most specifically, the T. They have this agenda right now to wipe them off the face of the earth because they don't exist. So,
yeah, they're just looking for something to rally and hate against.
Okay,
I don't get it.
Like, if that
Are
is,
you trying to blame? Were you laying blame somewhere on a community like that are just trying to be?
Exist?
Yeah, exist exactly. This is crazy. Anyway, I also thought both of the stories were really powerful in helping, show how much we need these government jobs and the people that do them and how, invaluable they are in saving our wildlife, maintaining our trails, rescuing people
Preserving
and
a culture, preserving an environment.
yeah, this is,
It goes well beyond all, like, they do a lot.
they do a lot. And, for decades, we did not treat this land very well and really destroyed a lot of things. And then there was this movement of like, let's save the earth. And now I feel like it's like, oh, who gives a shit anymore? Are we so far gone?
Or that it's just not a thing at all.
Yeah.
Which is the wildest part. Like, why can't you just acknowledge and just, like, say that you don't care?
Yeah. And also coming from somebody who literally invented a car to help be better for the environment. Although we don't know what the batteries are how we're gonna recycle those batteries yet. And also getting the cobalt that they need for the batteries is also destroying the land. So I don't know how much better it is
No, it's just a
actually.
marketing ploy.
Yeah. But the electric car system for somebody who spent years working on this, building this company and getting these electric vehicles out and is now defunding programs that are literally helping the environment. It just doesn't make any sense. He's a fucking idiot. They're all idiots. Anyway, I'm gonna get off my soapbox now.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I like their stories. And you can find all the links in our show notes if we have any this week.
As always, check us out on Patreon, check us out on YouTube, check us out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, wherever you fucking listen to a podcast.
Follow us on Instagram.
Fucking follow us.
Yeah.
Just do it. Just do it. Yeah. Check out our merch store. We have new things coming out. We have old favorites. Yeah. Yeah.
Patreon. Did you say that already?
I did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I guess that's it for most crazy people here at Fall Summit.
For every mountain is just one more almost there.
And if you've enjoyed today's episode, please rate, review, and subscribe. And if you didn't enjoy it, well, maybe that's your epic fail for the week.
Good one, dude.
Thanks.
And hey, if you've got any questions, stories, or trail fails of your own, hit us up. Email us at fallsummit.pod@gmail.com or fallsummit.pod on Instagram. And don't forget the dot in between the Fall Summit and the pod. Because if you do Fall Summit pod, it won't get to us.
No, it will not.
Because you need the dot.
Yeah.
In between.
In between.
Fallsummit.pod.
Yeah. And if you need to find it easier, you just go to our Instagram page. You could just click on it from there.
You sure can.
You sure can. We'll be back next week with more tales of misadventures and questionable decisions. Until then, happy trails.
And don't fall off a cliff.
See you out there.